Hey, you guys, thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on another video. My name is Karina. Welcome to Pencils and Proverbs. So, I have shared with you guys my first grade curriculum that we're using for the 2025-2026 school year with my son. So, my son is 5 and yes, going into first grade because I am a firm believer of helping kids to learn at their pace. So right now he has gobbled up all the pre-K and kindergarten stuff, and now he's ready to go into first grade. And if he wants to continue learning how to read and count and do all the things, I'm all for it. And if he decides that he wants to slow down and take a breather, I'm all for it because I firmly believe that each of our kids are at a different level. God has created us uniquely, and I love a good competition. But in some things, such as like what we're doing with learning, I don't think there's any competition. I think the kids should go at their pace, and that's one of the beauties of homeschool, that we are able to offer that to our kids. So I did share with you what we're doing for his uh, first grade stuff, and we will go as fast or slow that we as he determines that he wants to do school. But on that video, I also shared that I do stuff differently for the morning basket. And his morning basket is very different than hers just because they're at different levels intellectually. I do find this challenging, but I also know that it's for a season of life. So I get up in the morning and I do things with her at her intellectual level. I do things a little bit differently with him. And so today, what I want to do is share a little bit of what I do with what I'm planning to do with him. I did some of the same things with her. Of course, it was a little bit different, more tailored towards being a girl. For example, this book right here is 50 True Stories of Daring Men of God. What I did was 50 True Stories of Daring Women of God. And so these stories, as you can see, we have Martin Luther, we have Henry Obakaya, we have Ortega, Richard Wurmbrand, really great guy, George Mueller, Tony Dungy, guy is still alive, Richard Allen, C.S. Lewis, been dead. So it's different stories of different men of faith, different walks of faith. And I really love that because it gives my kid a different variety about different timelines. So C.S. Lewis was back in the 60s, early 50s, early 1900s to I think he died in 63, the same year as John F. Kennedy, right? At the same time, like William Booth was way, way, way the heck back. And Tony Dungy is still alive. Richard Wurmbrand from Romania, totally different background as compared to Frederick Douglass, slave American. Like, so Jeremy Camp, still alive, still love his songs. Eric Liddell, Irish, Scottish guy. So from way, way, way back when, Olympic guy, George Washington Carver from way the heck back. So as you can see, it gives a different variety of like men of faith, people who believe in God, different eras, and what they went through. And I mean, we're in what, the post-COVID era, which it looks very different than what we've seen before. So I love that idea. G.K. Chesterton, St. Francis of Assisi. I went to Catholic school at some point, so that's a whole other thing. So, long story short, these stories are super short. Like, that's as short as the story is, and it keeps his attention span. So Eric Liddell, I just showed you him there. And then what I do is I follow it up with something like this. So this is a story of Eric Liddell, and it's from Heroes Up for Young Readers. And it gives a little bit more into his stories. These books are from YWAM. I will publish the link below that you can go ahead and get your own if you so desire. This one I got off Amazon. I'll post that for you that you can look to as well. So what I am hoping for is building. So normally we learn the vowels A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, and then from that we build words. So we do build 2-letter, 3-letter, 4-letter, 5-letter words, and over time we start building our vocabulary and start creating paragraph sentences and paragraphs and then pages of stuff. So my whole idea of teaching my son like Bible stuff is to build on things to come. So he gets exposed to a one pager here and then a little bit longer story here. And these all rhyme. So I love that. So every other line. So for example, so when Olympic trials were held in London in July in 1923, he had to try. So everything is like a rhyme. So it caters to my daughter love these, and I hope we'll find out. I hope my son will love these as well. And then as he gets older, so like my daughter is 8, and what we've done is we've read the thicker books out loud, and we're still reading some of those right now. Right now we're going through John Newton, and it brings different things, different flavors. So, anyways, where I'm getting at with that is I want to be able to build, but in order for me to build, I have to lay a foundation. And so, what we're planning on doing, I don't know if we're going to get through all of these, but this is my great intention. We'll see at the end of the school year. Daniel Boone, David Livingston, George Mueller, George Washington, and George Washington Carver. So all of these are quick reads for me, but of course not so quick reads for my son. And he will be reading through these with me little bit by little bit and making sure that he could like read the stories, pick up words here and there, but also remember mom reading. So these are read alouds, but also learning the story of what people went through, why, how they influence history, and how that might affect him as he grows up to be older. Another thing that we're doing is the beginner's Bible. So I have a couple of these. This is the one, and I have another one that I'll show you right now. So, like I was saying, I have this one, which is super easy. My daughter was reading this at 5, 6 years old, like little words here and there that she was piecing together. We read it out loud. Then she went back and read it. And then the print is so big that over time, so by the time she was 6, 7, she was reading this on her own completely. I didn't have to go back and like she just picked it up and she read it. So boys or girls are different, I know, but I'm going to plant the seed anyways and pray and water the seed, because I'm a firm believer that as a mom, as a homeschooling mom especially, and as a Christian, as a Bible-based believing mom, homeschooling mom, it is one of my biggest duties to share my faith with my children and pray and water the seed and pray the Holy Spirit will bring the increase. So that's my philosophy, my own two cents. So along with that Bible, I use that as like a planter. So he is able to learn, he picks up new words, and now he is seeing pictures. So it has pictures in it that will give him a storyline along what he's reading. So now he's starting to piece things together. The next thing that we do is at night, I read this to him as a continuation. Now this, I know, like some people are like, teach the kids just a straight up Bible. And I love that. And I know for Jewish kids in Israel right now, they have to learn the Torah like word for word by the time they're 5. I'm not Jewish. I'm not in Israel. And though I appreciate and I love the Messianic Jews and I love the Jews in general, I'm not there. So I'm going to work with what I have and teach my kids the best that I can with what I have. So this Bible here, we got the Golden Children's Bible. It also has pictures in it, right? So this is the story of God's promise to Abram before God changed his name to Abraham. And it gave a little map, right? So it has pictures in it in a whole different way, but it is closer to the actual Bible that I read. It doesn't give all the stories because some of the stories are the kids get lost. In my kids get lost in like, okay, where are we at now? Why are we reading this kind of thing? So these stories that have been pre-selected keeps their mind focused, and we could read through. I plan on reading through, I mean, even here, the crucifixion and the early church. So this all goes hand in hand, like when it comes to talking about Resurrection Sunday, talking about the cross, talking about the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ. And I feel like this will all pan out in the long haul as to how they get exposure to their faith, why, and so they could start understanding why they believe what they believe and how to walk that life. So there it is. I'll drop the link for that one below as well. So that is a very different morning basket that I pick for my 5-year-old. In the meantime that we're doing these, I will have Tinker Toys, Play-Doh. He loves putting Legos together. So we will have those in the morning to put together while I'm reading, or while he's sitting on my lap reading and doing some of these things, or whenever he says, okay, enough is enough, like we don't want to do anymore today, then I stop and we go from there. But my great intention is to be faithful. And I know this might be a little bit intense or intimidating for some people. I just encourage you to find what works for you. I did this exact same thing with my daughter. She now reads her own Bible on her own time. I don't have to tell her. And so she is curious and wants to go the extra mile. And that was my entire idea. We cannot accept Christ for our kids. We have to lead them, and then they have to make that decision if they want to. But in the meantime, I think that we should be able to plant those seeds and let them be free to make that decision. So this is my humble way of experiencing and introducing them to it. And so hopefully one day we'll hear, well done, good and faithful servant, or I made it to heaven, Mom. Thank you. I don't know. That's my goal. So I wanted to share that with you. What I'm doing with my daughter is yet still different because she's already been through these because of their age gap. She's already been through these. We're at a higher level for her, and I'll share those with you guys in another video. But I promise I will share morning basket for my first grader. So that's what we're doing. I hope you find it helpful. Let me know what you guys are doing, and let me know what has helped you, especially if you're a seasoned homeschooling mama, and your kids are older than mine. Let me know what you have done or what you're doing, because I'm always putting things in, taking things out. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to keep doing it. And I'm also looking for ideas because, of course, I have one of each, and they're different. Like, same mom and dad, but they're different. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now, guys.